sperm counts have dropped over 50% in the last 40 years. Men are not as fertile as their fathers or their grandfathers. So if you want better, healthier sperm, listen up. Here's one thing you can do starting today for better sperm. Eat 2 Brazil nuts a day. They're loaded with selenium, and that's a mineral that most men are deficient in. And it has been shown to improve sperm motility and reduce DNA damage. Easy intervention to do to start strengthening your sperm to grandpa levels. But that's just one piece to the puzzle. In my newest episode of Heal Thyself, I reveal everything that is destroying men's sperm health. And I give my complete science-backed step-by-step protocol to rebuild your sperm in 90 days. All on the newest episode of Heal Thyself. Thank you for joining this episode of Heal Thyself. To support the show, please rate, review, and subscribe. It gives us the opportunity to really expand this knowledge to people who need it most, and you can do your part by just sharing the love. Again, thank you for listening. I'm forever grateful, and I love you all. Let's get started. So what if I told you that your sperm health is crashing, and it's not your fault? Right now, millions of men around the world are quietly suffering from infertility, low testosterone, fatigue, depression, and chronic health issues. And the cause of it is something that no one is really talking about. But here's the truth. Sperm counts have dropped by 50% over the last 40 years. We are living through a male reproductive health crisis, and it's not just about fertility. It's about your hormones. It's about your energy, your future children, and your overall vitality. And it's even deeper than that. The stress, trauma, toxic exposures you're carrying in your body right now is being encoded in your sperm and passed on to your future children. This episode is not just about sperm, it's about the story your body is telling and how you can change it. So in today's episode, I'm breaking down what makes sperm healthy and why it matters for every single man. The shocking data showing how male fertility is declining, the hidden lifestyle, environmental, emotional factors that destroy sperm health, and the emerging evidence you're not hearing about in the mainstream media. I give you my full, detailed, science-backed, lifestyle-based protocol to restore sperm health naturally. And by the end of this episode, you'll understand exactly what is affecting your sperm and how to take back control of your biology, your energy, and ultimately your legacy. Let's dive in. So what is sperm health and why does it matter more than you think? Before we get into what is destroying the sperm, let's lay the foundation. What actually makes your sperm healthy? There are 4 key metrics. Sperm count. This is the total number of sperm present in 1 milliliter of semen. And according to the World Health Organization, the minimum healthy count is 15 million per milliliter. But truly optimal levels are 50 to 100 million per milliliter. Lower counts are linked not only to infertility, but poor hormonal health, increased risk of chronic disease. Now, the second one is motility. This refers to how well the sperm move. You want your sperm to be progressively motile. They're swimming forward, not in circles stuck, and a healthy threshold is 40% motile sperm, with at least 32% moving progressively. The third one is morphology. This is the shape of the sperm. You want well-formed heads and tails. There's something called the Kruger-Strict criteria, and it suggests that only 4% of sperm need to be normal in shape to be considered healthy. But morphology matters because abnormally shaped sperm have a harder time fertilizing an egg. The fourth one is DNA integrity. This is often overlooked. Even if you have a high count and good motility, if your sperm DNA is fragmented, damaged, or epigenetically marked by stress and toxins, it can impair fertility. It can influence really the health of your child. So this is the hidden metric, the stress and trauma that you carry. But here's where it gets deeper. Your sperm doesn't just carry your genetic blueprint. It carries your epigenetic signature, meaning that the experiences, the trauma, the exposures, even the emotional imprints from your life can leave molecular marks on your sperm. And this is called epigenetic inheritance. We now have clear research that chronic stress, early childhood trauma, nutritional deficiencies, environmental toxins, they all leave molecular tags known as DNA methylation marks on your sperm. And these marks actually influence gene expression in your children, and it can predispose them to mental health disorders, metabolic conditions, behavioral issues, even infertility themselves. This is not just a theoretical thing. In animal studies, stress-induced changes in sperm have been linked to anxiety, altered metabolism, even depressive behavior in the offspring. But human studies have also confirmed this connection. One study published in Nature Neuroscience showed that traumatic events experienced by fathers were linked to altered stress responses in the children, even when the children were never exposed to that trauma. What that means is simple but profound. Your sperm is not just a cell, it's a messenger of your entire experience. I want to talk to you about something that has been a game changer for me, that is bond charge. And if you're like me and always looking for ways to optimize your health naturally, you're going to love this. They've got this huge range of products backed by solid science. And I've got to tell you about my favorite one, that is the red light face mask. It is super lightweight and does not get hot. It's really comfortable and easy to wear. And the best part is it uses both near infrared and red light to boost collagen and elastin production. That is a secret to healthier skin. Now, I've tried red light devices for a long time. Bond Charge really stands out because they've actually removed that sleep disturbing green and blue light that a lot of red light products have out there. Plus, they have zero EMFs, zero flicker, and it comes with a 1-year warranty. Head over to bondcharge.com and use the coupon code DRG to save 15% off of your order. That is BONCHARGE.com. And don't forget to use that code DRG for 15% off. What this means is simple and profound. Your sperm is not just a cell, it's a messenger of your entire experiences. There are sperm trends going on, and it's not for the better. This is the male fertility crisis. The data is clear. Male fertility is collapsing. There was a landmark meta-analysis published in Human Reproduction Update in 2017 that found that sperm counts worldwide have declined by 52% since 1973. And a follow-up study in 2022 showed that this decline is accelerating. We are on a trajectory where by the year of 2045, the average male sperm count could approach zero. And I want you to let that sink in. It's not just about conception struggles. It's about the health of future generations. And here's the thing. Sperm, again, is a biomarker. Declining sperm health reflects a broader collapse of many things: men's metabolic health, hormonal health, nervous system regulation, environmental toxicity. It's a signal that something in modern life is fundamentally off. And the big question is why? What is destroying sperm? That's what we're about to unpack, so that you not only understand the science, but you know exactly what to do about it. Because when you heal your sperm, you're not just healing your fertility, you're healing your entire body, and you're healing the future. Now, the real reason why sperm health is declining, let's do a deep dive. Now that you understand what sperm health is and how much it's more than just fertility, let's go deeper into the science of what's destroying it. It's not just one thing. This is the perfect storm of modern life right now. Our lifestyle, environment, nutrition, habits, and stress are all colliding to create this crisis. I want to break it down piece by piece. There are lifestyle and behavioral factors that are happening. Look no further than obesity and metabolic dysfunction. Obesity is one of the strongest lifestyle predictors of poor sperm health. There was a large meta-analysis in Andrology in 2015 that showed that men with obesity had significantly lower sperm counts, concentration, and motility. But why? Well, excess body fat increases estrogen production. It reduces testosterone. It increases oxidative stress. It raises scrotal temperature, all which disrupt spermatogenesis, the making of your sperm. Even being just overweight, not obese, is actually associated with lower sperm quality. Here's a major one: alcohol consumption. Moderate to heavy alcohol intake will reduce semen volume, sperm count, and motility. A study published in the British Medical Journal in 2014 showed that men consuming more than 5 units of alcohol per day had significantly worse semen quality. Chronic alcohol will increase oxidative stress. It damages the Leydig cells, which are the cells that produce testosterone, and it increases something called aromatase activity. That's an enzyme activity that actually leads to higher amounts of estrogen. What else? Smoking and recreational drugs. Cigarette smoking has consistently been associated with decreased sperm count, reduced motility, abnormal morphology, higher DNA fragmentation. Nicotine, cadmium, the heavy metal in cigarettes, lead as well, and thousands of other chemicals in cigarettes are directly damaging something called the seminiferous tubules, and it's an important part of the reproductive tract that is experiencing increased oxidative stress. What about smoking cannabis? Well, opioids, anabolic steroids, cocaine, they're all well documented to suppress testosterone and impair sperm quality. One of the big ones is sleep disruption. Chronic sleep deprivation or irregular sleep patterns will significantly impact your reproductive hormones. There was a study in the Journal of Fertility and Sterility in 2013 that found that men who sleep less than 6 hours per night had a 31% lower sperm count compared to those who slept 7 to 8. Sleep will affect your testosterone, your melatonin, your cortisol, all of which are going to regulate spermatogenesis. What else? Sedentary behavior and overtraining. Physical inactivity, we know, is linked to lower testosterone, increased body fat, poor metabolic health, all those conditions that increase poor sperm quality. But on the flip side, Excessive endurance exercises like chronic long distance running, excessive HIIT workout have been shown to reduce testosterone and suppress sperm production due to hypothalamic suppression and oxidative stress that happen in the body. What else? Sexual behavior and porn consumption. Emerging evidence we're seeing is showing that excessive porn usage and compulsive masturbation may be linked to reduced sperm quality through multiple mechanisms, one of which being dopaminergic desensitization, but also through chronic stress activation and increased sympathetic tone. Here's a really big one: environmental toxins. Environmental disrupting chemicals, EDCs, they're everywhere, and they're destroying hormonal health globally. And the biggest offender, one of, is BPA, bisphosphenol A. It's found in plastics, cans, receipts, but also phthalates. This is in personal care products. These are plasticizers. Pesticides and herbicides, especially things like glyphosate. Flame retardants and heavy metals, we see that in homes and clothing. A systematic review published in Environmental Health Perspectives in 2016 found strong associations between phthalate exposure and decreased sperm motility and concentration. These chemicals disrupt testosterone production, damage Sertoli cells, which support sperm development, and increase oxidative stress. Well, what about heat exposure? Can that affect the sperm count? Well, the testes are outside of the body for a reason. Sperm production requires a temperature of 2 to 4 degrees Celsius lower than the core body temperature. So chronic exposure from tight underwear, prolonged sitting, hot tubs, saunas, laptop use when it's on your lap, all impair spermatogenesis. I want to talk about electromagnetic radiation. Studies have shown that high exposure to mobile phone radiation is associated with reduced sperm motility and viability. There was a meta-analysis in environmental research in 2017 that concluded that EMF exposure is significantly associated with reduced sperm concentration and motility. How about air pollution? Absolutely. Exposure to fine particulate matter, PM 2.5, nitrogen dioxide, and other pollutants are correlated with decreased sperm count, motility, and increased DNA fragmentation. There was a large cohort study published in JAMA in 2019 found that long-term exposure to air pollution was associated with poor semen parameters. Here's a big one: psychological and emotional stress. Yes, it's a silent killer, but it's one that really we don't talk about when it comes to sperm. Not enough. Chronic psychological stress elevates cortisol, suppresses testosterone, disrupts luteinizing hormone, follicle-stimulating hormone, increases oxidative stress in the testes, all of which are going to impair your sperm production. But even more important, stress doesn't affect your sperm today. It programs your sperm epigenetically. There's an epigenetic transmission of stress in the sperm, and multiple studies have shown that childhood trauma, chronic stress, PTSD, all leave measurable DNA methylation marks on the sperm. And these marks affect gene expression in the embryo. It leads to increased risk of anxiety, depression, metabolic disorders, behavioral dysregulation, and just vulnerability to overall stress in your offspring. There was a study published in Nature Neuroscience in 2013 that found that paternal stress before conception altered sperm microRNA content, and their offspring exhibited altered hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis regulation. That means they're not handling stress the way that a normal body does. There's another study in Biological Psychiatry 2018 showed that childhood trauma in men was associated with a specific methylation pattern in sperm, and it linked to neural development issues in children. Your stress becomes their biology. Sperm need nutrients, and your diet really, really matters. We know that diets high in refined sugars, trans fats, processed meats, junk foods, they're consistently associated with lower sperm count and motility. A 2020 study in JAMA Network Open showed that men consuming a Western diet had 25% lower sperm count compared to men eating an anti-inflammatory diet. It matters. Deficiencies can directly impact your ability for sperm to be created. Zinc is a crucial one, not only for testosterone production, but sperm formation. We need proper amounts of selenium. It's an antioxidant and has a really potent role in sperm motility. Folate, it's required for DNA synthesis, especially in your sperm. Vitamin C and vitamin E, they're protective against oxidative damage of the world and the environmental toxins. Vitamin D, it's involved in testosterone regulation. There's omega-3 deficiencies that we see. Low intake of these omega-3 fatty acids have been linked to poor sperm membrane fluidity and motility. And actually, excess of polyunsaturated fatty acids, and yes, even seed oils, may increase oxidative stress lipid peroxidation, and reduce your sperm's overall viability. What about caffeine? High caffeine intake, over 300 milligrams per day, have been associated in some studies with impaired sperm DNA integrity and motility, but more research needs to be had there. Okay, so now that we've gone deep into that well-established evidence-based factors that is wrecking your sperm health, we need to talk about what are the emerging threats, the things that are just now coming to light in the research that may explain why the fertility crisis is accelerating even faster than we thought. These are the things that most doctors, fertility specialists, even functional medicine practitioners are not fully talking about yet. But I want you on the Heal Thyself community to be ahead of the curve. Microplastics and nanoplastics, big one. This is one of the most disturbing emerging threats to human fertility. Microplastics are tiny particles, less than 5 millimeters in size, and they are everywhere. In our food, in our water, in the air we breathe, and it's been found in the human blood, lungs, placenta, and even the testicles. There was a groundbreaking study in 2023, and it was published in the Science of Total Environment, and it found microplastics in human semen for the first time. This means that plastic pollution is now penetrating the reproductive system. Why is this a problem? In animal studies, microplastics have been shown to damage Sertoli cells. These support sperm development. They've been shown to increase oxidative stress in the testicular tissue. They've been shown to reduce testosterone production. They've been shown to decrease sperm count and motility. They've been shown to cause testicular inflammation and fibrosis. And even worse, microplastics contain or carry those EDCs. Remember those endocrine disrupting chemicals like BPA, phthalates, and flame retardants. So they're not just physically polluting the testes, they're also chemically disrupting them. And it's an emerging field. We don't know the full impact yet of microplastic accumulation in the human sperm. But the data is clear. It ain't good. Here's another one that people aren't talking about. That chronic low-grade inflammation and leaky gut. The connection is now being illuminated in emerging research. Gut health and sperm health are actually deeply linked. How? Chronic low-grade inflammation is often driven by a disrupted gut microbiome. Leaky gut, poor diet, glyphosate exposure, pesticide exposure, stress, and all these create that systemic inflammation and oxidative stress, which is going to damage Leydig cells, Sertoli cells, impair testosterone production. One study published in Reproductive Biology and Endocrinology in 2020 found that men with IBS and chronic gut inflammation had significantly reduced sperm count and motility. The gut-sperm connection is an emerging area, but it's becoming clear. If your gut is inflamed, your sperm are inflamed. Here's another emerging area about the role of these endocannabinoid systems in male fertility. Your body's endocannabinoid system is going to regulate hormonal balance, inflammation, and reproductive function. So chronic cannabis use, high THC exposure, and even excessive omega-6 intake is going to dysregulate it. In 2020, there was a study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism that found that chronic cannabis use is associated with reduced sperm count and motility, altered sperm DNA methylation, and lower testosterone levels. The concern here is not only about the acute suppression of sperm, but the potential epigenetic transmission of this endocannabinoid dysregulation going to your offspring. All right, we just did a deep dive on all things sperm. And at this point, you now understand sperm health is so much more than fertility. It's a deep reflection of your overall health, your hormones, your metabolic health, your nervous system, your environment, even your emotional well-being. But beyond that, your sperm is sort of a biological journal of your experience. It's the stress you carry. It's the toxins you accumulate. It's the emotional wounds that haven't healed yet. So it leaves this imprint, not only on your body, but on your children and grandchildren. And it's not just about whether you can conceive, it's about the kind of world, what kind of energy, what kind of resilience are you passing down to your future lineage. But you're not powerless. That's the good news. You can change the story. And the research actually is clear. When you change your lifestyle, your nutrition, your nervous system, your environment, your supplementation, you can dramatically improve your sperm in 90 days. You can literally reprogram your biology. You can heal your future children by healing yourself. And here are your next steps. If you want better sperm, here is what to do. Start implementing this Heal Thyself Sperm Protocol. Re-listen to this episode, take notes, and begin to apply one step at a time. Get your sperm tested. Even if you're not trying to conceive, your sperm is a biomarker of your overall health. If you're a woman listening to this, share this episode with a man in your life, your partner, your brother, your friend. Men deserve to know how powerful they are and how much they can change their health. I want you to understand that healing sperm is healing really your masculine health. It's about reclaiming your power, your health, your energy, your legacy. I want you to walk away from this episode knowing one thing, that you're not doomed to have poor sperm. So if you're looking to improve your sperm in 90 days, I want you to do this. Strength training 3 to 4 times a week is going to be really important. Resistant exercise improves testosterone and metabolic health. Studies show that men who train consistently have better sperm parameters overall. It's an easy go-to. You want to get morning sunlight exposure, 15 to 20 minutes per day. Sunlight supports circadian rhythm, testosterone production, and nitric oxide levels. These are all crucial for sperm health. Make sure you're sleeping. 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. Research shows that sleep deprivation is going to lower testosterone and impair sperm function. Sleep in complete darkness with no screens 1 hour before bed. Stress and nervous system dysregulation, a major part of it. You want to really focus on your nervous system, doing things like somatic breath work for 10 to 20 minutes, meditation, vagus nerve exercises. Chronic stress is going to increase cortisol and damage sperm DNA. Your emotional health is being encoded into your sperm. What about ejaculation frequency? If you're optimizing for fertility, aim for ejaculation every 2 to 4 days. Long abstinence may increase DNA fragmentation, and excessive ejaculation may temporarily lower count. What about nutrition? There are foundational foods to eat for better sperm. 2 Brazil nuts, an excellent selenium source, is going to improve sperm motility. 1 to 2 servings of wild-caught fatty fish. They have omega-3s. They improve the sperm membrane fluidity. You can do 3 to 4 pasture-raised eggs. The choline and cholesterol are going to be important for hormonal production. Dark leafy greens. Folate, as I mentioned before, is supporting your sperm DNA and integrity. 1 cup of berries, antioxidant rich, are going to reduce that oxidative damage. If you eat meat, you always got to go for grass-fed. And if you do, 2 to 3 times a week, you're going to get a dose of zinc, carnitine, and B12. If you don't eat meat, you can always supplement it. And here's what you need to remove completely for 90 days. Excessive sugar, alcohol, non-organic foods, because you want to stay away from no pesticides, herbicides, and insecticides, which can infect your sperm, artificial sweeteners, any fast food you might want to remove, and see how it improves your sperm. Hydration is really important. You can use reverse osmosis water. You can add in trace minerals. Dehydration is going to impact your sperm volume. Here are things you want to remove or minimize. No laptops on your lap. EMFs and heat are going to lower sperm motility and fertility. No phones in your front pocket. No plastic water bottles. No filtered tap water, right? You want to stay away from chlorine and heavy metals. Stop using synthetic colognes or scented candles. All of those have phthalates that are going to be endocrine disruptive. Remove chemicals from your cleaning products and get natural ones. In your bedroom, no Wi-Fi router near the bed. You want to sleep in darkness, no electronics near your pelvis while you're sleeping. And on the supplements, these are all research-based clinical doses for supplements, but talk to your practitioner. CoQ10, ubiquinol, 2 to 300 milligrams per day, improves motility and sperm energy. L-carnitine, 2,000 milligrams per day, will enhance sperm motility and morphology. Zinc picolinate, 30 to 45 milligrams per day. Zinc is crucial for testosterone and crucial for sperm production. Selenium, 200 micrograms per day, is going to support your sperm motility and reduce that oxidative stress that causes DNA damage. Vitamin D3, 5,000 IUs per day. Deficiency is going to correlate with poor sperm health. Omega-3s, really important for your sperm membranes. EPA and DHA, 2 grams combined per day, is going to support your sperm membrane fluidity. NAC, N-acetylcysteine, 600 to 1,200 milligrams per day, is a powerful antioxidant that improves sperm DNA integrity. And here are some optional advanced strategies. You can do infrared sauna 3 times per week for detoxification and oxidative stress reduction. But remember, avoiding scrotal heat. Some people put an ice pack on their scrotum when they do sauna. And if you're trying to have kids, if you're really working on your fertility and you want to take it to the next level, that might be an intervention that you want to do. EMF blocking underwear. If your work or lifestyle requires constant technology exposure, think about this. You can do reproductive acupuncture. Clinical studies have actually shown improved sperm parameters with acupuncture over 3 months. Remember, it's not just about fertility. Your sperm health is going to be a reflection of everything: hormonal, metabolic, emotional health. And your future children's genetic expression will be impacted by your physical, chemical, and emotional environment. Today, stress, toxin, unresolved emotions are going to be encoded in your sperm. You can change that story in 90 days by doing this. I really hope this information was organized and laid out in a way that you can receive it. I hope it was helpful. If you have a man in your life who needs this information, or if you're trying to have kids, really start doing this intervention and do that 90-day intervention. It's going to change everything. Thank you for listening.